Morning, everybody. Joe Ciaccio here. Happy Monday to everybody. Still got a little bit of a raspy voice, but it's Monday morning. It's time to go to work. Okay. Last couple of days of the last week, I've been getting a lot of phone calls on Joe. I've got the clients to go see. I'm knocking on their door. I'm visiting with them. Yet the policies are not being issued. I'm getting declined. So what I'm doing is I'm going down with the agents, what carrier they're going with, how they're going about talking with the client, what they're doing to prepare the client for the carrier that they're going to give them. And what I'm hearing every single time is that the agents are deviating from asking the health questions. What they're doing is that they're looking at the rate calculator and they're looking up the least expensive company there. And they're telling the client, okay, I can get you a policy for $74.19 for $15,000. Client gets all excited. Agent says, well, Joe, I tried putting it with this carrier here. It didn't go through, so I tried with a different carrier. I didn't go through. What could be going wrong? What we have to understand is that when we're in front of clients and we've got different carriers to pick from, it does not mean not to go with the least expensive. What it means is to find out their health before you decide what carrier to put them with. We talked about Ciaccio. Ciaccio is a great company. Their rates are phenomenal, yet their underwriting's a little bit tougher than regular simplified issue whole life. When you go to our carriers, you go to the Americo, the Royal Neighbors, you go to any of those carriers we have, and you do something other than their simplified issue, underwriting's gonna be a little tougher. It'll have a longer look back. So when you have your mind set on underwriting for simplified issue, that underwriting method cannot be used when you go with the carriers that have like the Jet Issue Royal Neighbors, the Advantage Plus. All the carriers have regular whole life programs that are a little bit tougher to get approved with. And what we look at is how cheap we can get it. Because what happens is that the client's telling you, I can't afford much, Joe. Joe, I can't afford much. You know, things are hard and all that stuff there. So our brain automatically goes, we've got to go the cheapest thing to make sure we make a sale. Is that thinking wrong? No. We need to do is find out how their health is and then go to the cheapest thing that they qualify for. Because this is what happens. You go into a house, you get excited, as we all do. The client is giving you buying signals. I need something, I want something, I can't afford much. I wanted to buy from somebody else, but the price was too high. If you give me something that's very, very reasonable, I'll buy from you. So they're telling you everything you want to hear. So what happens is that we deviate from doing the things, meaning asking the health questions, asking about their medication. Or you are asking, but you're flying through it. How's your health? Fine. Any heart attack, stroke? No, nothing's wrong with me. So we take that as the clients, nothing wrong with them. Yet, I've been to clients' houses before who had a stroke 6 months ago. I said, you know, Mr. Jones, how you doing today? Joe, I'm doing fantastic. Really, really feeling great. Haven't felt this good in a long, long time. So I said, okay. You need any medications? Yeah, I'm on a couple of medications. What are you on? And they go boom, 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 boom. They start listing all these medications. And you go, you're doing good? You're on all these medications? So in their mind, they're doing better after they had a stroke. They're doing better after they had their heart attack, which hopefully they should be. But what happens with us is that all we hear is we're doing good. You on any medications? This is part I love when they tell you this here. You on any medications? Yeah, I do. And they look and they're looking around and they're trying to remember the medications they take. I'm on a blood pressure medication. You know the name of it? No. I think honey, do I do cholesterol? Yeah, honey, you do cholesterol. Do cholesterol. You want anything else? No, I'm on nothing else. Nothing else. Talked to a man about that there about, I don't know, 2 months ago. He was on gabapentin. He said, oh, I don't take that no more. You need to dig. I want you guys to sit and think, that you're digging a hole Total different analogy I've ever used before. You're digging a hole, and the deeper you dig the hole, the more truth you're going to get. So you need to find out if they're on any medication, if they've been on any medication the last 2 or 3 years, have they stopped taking the medication, why did they stop taking it, how long has it been they stopped taking it. Because what we don't know is that when they're on a medication, if a doctor prescribes them a medication and prescribes it only, it's not going to show up on their RX. Once they get that medication that is prescribed and once they get it filled, whether it's taken or not taken, is going to probably most likely show up on their prescription checklist. Excuse me. So what ends up happening, they prescribed it, they filled it, they maybe use it for 2 or 3 days, they don't want to use it. What happens a lot of times is that clients don't want to take the medication. It may not make them feel good. They may not want to spend that much money on the actual cost of the insurance. Or they feel that they're feeling better, they don't need it. And the reason they're feeling better is because of the medication. There's a friend of mine a long time ago that was on a medication called Wellbutrin. Okay, he had some mood swings back when we were younger. And I said, bro, man, you out of control today. What's going on? He said, oh, nothing, man. I don't know what's going on. He was on his Wellbutrin. He was feeling good. He stopped taking it, not thinking the reason he was even keel was because of the medication. He gets off of it and he starts bouncing off the walls again. I said, bro, you got to get back on your meds. You're all over the place. Oh, no, I'm doing good. He got back on the meds, I saw him a couple weeks later, and he was more even keel. When it comes to our clients, what ends up happening is that they don't want to spend the money, or they start cutting the dose in half. Instead of taking it every day, they start taking it every other day. Instead of taking it twice a day, they take it once a day to stretch it. Okay, now, when you go see a client, and the client says, the doctor took me off the medication, I don't need it anymore. That's fine and dandy for the client at that time. Yet, you still have to look at the medication to see if it's been a year or 2 years that they've been off that medication for, okay? Medications are either a maintenance medication or they're a treatment medication. Most clients that have hepatitis, that is called a treatment medication. It's not considered a maintenance medication. You got to be a Philadelphia lawyer to understand the difference between a maintenance med and a treatment med. High blood pressure, a blood thinner, cholesterol, those are all considered maintenance medication. When you start getting into the more serious things, okay? Maintenance medication for hepatitis, maintenance medication for dementia or Alzheimer's. Those medications are not considered everyday use. You have something specifically wrong with you, and this needs to be taken, and they put it in a different category. Probably one of the hardest things to get used to understand. Now, when you're visiting with somebody, I'd like for you to take a couple steps back and say, you know something? I know what I'm doing. I'm going to have to tap my brakes a little bit. Because what happens is that the client is giving you buying signals, you're feeling them, but what happens is that you're overreacting too quickly to get them the least expensive thing. Then you call me and say, Joe, the answer to all the questions, no. Well, just because the client answers the questions no, does not mean the answers are no. Well, Joe, what do you mean? He said no to everything. What do you mean? You need to ask the question slowly. Don't buzz through each question going 97 miles an hour, as we've all done before, because we want to get from the beginning to the end, start to write the application, get that boarded check, do the phone interview, and leave, because we want to deposit that money in our checking account in 2 days. If they're a smoker, a non-smoker, agent called me and said, Joe, wrote the client $25,000 with a carrier, and he came back as a smoker. What do? What do you mean, what do you do? The answer is you got to find him now somebody who he wants to spend money on when it comes to a smoker rate. If they're a smoker, they've got to quit smoking for 1 year with most carriers. Depending on the carrier, depending on which one, simplified issue, 1 year. Rest of the carriers with the non-simplified, no lapse UL, sometimes they're 2 years, sometimes they're 5 years. So you got to read the question. So you got to get your mind set. I'm no longer working with that company anymore. I'm working here now. These are the new carriers I have. So you have to remember how to underwrite from the past. You got to remember how to close from the past. You got to remember how to do all those things from the past, yet the underwriting, similar but not always the same. Some carriers, if you're on a blood thinner, modified. COPD, emphysema, modified. We've got carriers that gives you immediate benefits. So the difference between the old companies and the companies you're working with now, 90% of the time has to do with underwriting. So when you're with a client, do yourself a favor. Do not jump and pick out the cheapest program out there because you want to make the sale. Because what you have just done is that you put the cart before the horse, and you're going to tell them $19.95 a month, and then you're going to come back either that moment with a decline or a graded, or you're going to wait a couple of days because you're going to submit the application on a paper app and get the client declined. So now what happens, you need to go back to the client's house, tell them, sorry, Ms. Jones, you just didn't qualify for that program, but I got another program for you, but it's going to cost you $42. Now you have another objection to get over. $19.95 to $42. Or you raise them, lower them from $10,000 to $5,000 with the same premium. So my suggestion is, go a little slower, take your time, try to stay focused, try not to deviate to the left or slide to the right. Take your time, ask them the health questions. If you're not exactly sure, call me, call your manager, call the carrier. They have underwriting departments that can help you out on these things here. Because when you tell an underwriter or you tell me something, you got to draw the underwriter, me, or your manager an overall picture of what's going on. You can't sit and say, Joe, I've got a client here. She's in great health. She had a heart attack. Who do I put her with? I need to know a lot of things. I need to know her height and weight. I need to know how long the heart attack was. What medication is she on? Is anything else wrong with her? Joe, I didn't ask her. You need to be an investigator. You need to ask all these questions, because if you don't, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be wasting your ink on a paper app, or you're going to be wasting your time on a point of sale. The more information you gather, the more stuff you find out about that client, the better opportunity you have to put them with the carrier to get them approved to where you can make money. It's not always about putting them with the cheapest carrier you have. The most important thing is putting them with the carrier that they get approved with the premium that they are willing to pay. With that said, hit them hard. Thursday, I want to talk about why you should visit your existing book of business. Why should you go back and see the clients you have? That's coming up on Thursday. So with that said, guys, make it a great day. You got any questions, give us a call. And as always, I appreciate your hard work. Hit them hard today. Bye-bye.